My name is Oliver Rossier. I'm the Senior Officer at the Faculty of Arts, and I really want to thank you for joining us here at this special event. I'd like to recognize that we are on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of First Nations and Métis people, and perhaps particularly important is to note that this area was a gathering space for difficult and interesting conversations for thousands of years. So now we're going to have a conversation, a debrief about President Zelensky's national address with all its hybrid quirks. And thank you so much, River, and for all of our speakers for your patience, right? We're navigating this together nationally. Our first very special guest is Mr. Alexander Danilenko, Consul General of Ukraine in Edmonton.
Thank you very much for introduction, and thank you very much for inviting me to this event. It's a really remarkable event. And what can I say after the president of Ukraine? Practically nothing to add. You heard him. This is a real leader of the country in the war and leader of the nation. And we are proud to have such a president. When he came to the office and before him, we were trying to build our country as a prosperous, great country, European country, with the happy people, with the educated young generation. We were going to build the country in smartphone, as he said. It means not literally in smartphone, but it means that we were building the modern country with the new technologies, the democratic values. But now, as he said, we are a country in the boots, and we have to fight for our freedom, for our dignity, and for our lives, actually. And we are fighting not only for our lives, we are actually fighting for the whole continent. We are fighting for our common values, democracy, freedom, humanity, actually. And what the Russians are doing, it is just terrible. They are shelling every day our cities, peaceful cities, killing our children, killing our women. And the world have to respond together with us because we are fighting for our common values, for what we are building this world on. And that's why it's very important to have this support from our partners, as President said. And we are really grateful to Canada for the real strong and continuous support. And as Chrystia Freeland said, Canada already provided huge support, financial support to Ukraine, military support and humanitarian support. And what's most important, we feel this support from your hearts. We feel this not only material support, but some kind of spiritual support from Canadian people, from Canadian friends. And it is also very important for us. And thank you very much also for not only helping Ukraine and Ukrainians fighting there, but for helping Ukrainians coming here. And I would like to say special thanks to University of Alberta. I know that you waived fees for Ukrainians coming for the next term to University of Alberta, and proposed them also some kind of financial support for living. This is very important. But it's also important that we want them, these Ukrainians, got good and progressive knowledge from University of Alberta. As President said, we want them to come back to Ukraine. So it's very important. For those Ukrainians, I don't know how many of you here in audience, but I can promise that there will be a lot of work to do, and it will be a lot of interesting work to do after the war. We have to rebuild our country, and actually we have to build new country on the new basis. And your knowledge you got from the universities, the leading universities in Canada, in the world, will be very helpful for us. And I'm just talking right now not only to Ukrainians, but also to Canadians and other students, because this is a huge opportunity, and we will win this war, for sure. The price is huge, but we will win this war, and we will rebuild the country. And your help and help on the fields will be very, very important. And then when you will be sitting in your armchair at your 60s or 70s and telling the story of your lives to your children or grandchildren, you will be proud telling them that I was there and I helped to rebuild Ukraine. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you so much, Consul General Dalenko. Now I'd like to introduce you to some of our student leaders present here to give brief remarks on behalf of their organizations. We are represented here by the Students' Union, Vice President External, Christian Fotang.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you. And on behalf of the University of Alberta Students' Union, I want to say that we stand in solidarity with the Ukrainian Student Society and Ukrainians around the world in their calls to the swift end of violence that is happening and in response to the fight for democracy for the people of Ukraine and around the world. Also want to say that for any student and all students, if you are feeling anxious or nervous, and I understand the mental burden that these issues can cause, that there are resources on campus like the Peer Support Center as well as other financial resources that you can access through UASU Cares, which you can access on the UASU website. But again, I want to keep it brief and say thank you, Oliver. Thank you to the team for this, and thank you for inviting us, and thank you for being here.
Christian, that's so important, honestly. There are supports, there is a lot of stress, and we need to reach out when we need help. So thank you so much. I'd like to invite Anas and Jamije to come up to the front. Together, they represent the Graduate Students Association. Again, what we've done today is the frontier of new levels of communication. We had a hybrid online, and now we have these amazing student and academic leaders and our community leaders coming to you in person.
Thanks, Oliver, and also thanks, Doug, for the invitation. And good morning, everyone. My name is Anas Fasih, and I am the president of the Graduate Student Association here at UVA. And I'm joined by Janmijay Rao, who is also an executive and the vice president external of the University of Alberta Graduate Student Association. Echoing other previous statements and student leaders, I would like to re-emphasize the GSA stands in solidarity with the Ukrainian students and also Ukrainians in general. As you probably know from our social media, we released a statement in March really scolding all those aggressions in Ukraine and then mentioning many financial supports that the GSA provides for international students, including Ukrainian students. And I would like to also remind Ukrainian students that the Graduate Student Association does provide numerous supports and services, including GSA emergency bursaries. And this is a very important service that we do provide at the GSA. And then as we have been talking with the team over the last 5 months, we have made this Ukrainian crisis as an emergency, and then Ukrainian students do get emergency bursaries from the GSA. And then, of course, we are hosting a lot of events recently, including coffee breaks and then get together with the executive team in Trifa Hall. You are always welcome to come and chat, even just for a conversation if you need support. And then we have one on Friday. Thank you so much. And I would just like to invite Janmijay if he wants to add that note.
Thank you, everyone. It was great being here. I just wanted to give you an update or something like that. I am Janmijay and I am Vice President External. I am also the chair of Alberta ABGPEC. So basically, we lobby on behalf of 20,000 graduate students, and we basically directly meet with the provincial government and Ministry of Advanced Education. One of the main projects in my portfolio is to look out for incoming Ukrainian people and Ukrainian students and how we can help them directly with Ministry of Advanced Education. Please reach out to me if you have any ideas, and as he said, we can always have a conversation in coffee chats and coffee breaks and anything. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much. It is a team effort. It is many-leveled team effort, and we have now two of our academic leaders, Dr. Natalia Kanenko-Friesen, Director of the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies, and Dr. Alla Nershivska, Chair of Modern Languages and Cultural Studies, and co-leader among this wonderful team of the DUSS initiative, and they will give a few remarks about that.
Thank you, Oliver, for brief introductions. I would like to start with how much I am actually proud of you being in this room. It has been an undertaking, or rather an effort to come here, but I hope you feel you were part of some global event which we've been participating in. I hope you are feeling also proud of participating and contributing to literally a global effort which is unfolding in front of our eyes with the goal to support Ukraine, to assist newly arriving students who are coming to the university. I am representing here the University of Alberta and also the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies. You probably by now know that university had committed itself to supporting you, the community of students, also the incoming community of new students, by, say, waiving the tuition fees. There's a series of resources online you can go and visit and explore what sort of support is being offered. We know, for example, we've seen unprecedented number of applicants coming into the university. Our colleagues across campus in different offices are trying to handle numerous applications, figure out how to support students, where to find funding, how to put on the ground those undergrads and grads together with who we have about 350 individuals. And when it comes to the Canadian Institute of Ukrainian Studies, I hope you've heard of us before. We are around, we've been around for nearly 50 years. In 2026, that will be the round date. We had to revamp the whole scale of our activities. We had to reinvent ourselves with the beginning of the war. One of the first initiatives we have undertaken is to introduce new seminar series. If you are keen to figure out and learn more about what's going on in that part of the world, what is this global conflict is all about, and that particular war is all about, stay with us. Every 2 weeks or so, we host international leaders who come and comment and discuss various topics. Our upcoming seminar, Historians and the War, Rethinking the Future, is an important initiative, because if you think about the future, it is being changed in front of our eyes, and you are being part of it by participating in these globally important conversations as today. We also had to move on to a number of other initiatives, and I'm very proud to point out to those of you especially who need, say, talking points when you go and talk to media. We've newly, freshly launched media monitoring service. You can find it online, and you can read once a week, review and revisit the media resources which are being covered by our talented team, and they are explaining to us what is going on, where is the misinformation, what is being an understatement, or what needs to be addressed by us dealing with propaganda coming from the Russian Federation fighting Ukraine right now. The next initiative I would speak very briefly about. We are not supposed to speak about it publicly, but we've also engaged with a number of other partners on campus in the support to the Ukrainian institutions and archivists, researchers and scholars who are being severely affected by the war and who also seek an opportunity to save their data, to save their museums, archives, library collections. So we're helping them with uploading their entire collections online. So this is very much of not a public message, but I thought I will share it with you today. Importantly, our next initiative, which my colleague Alla Nedashkivska will be speaking about, concerns, again, disrupted and displaced Ukrainian students and scholars. And I would pass this torch to Alla.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be part of this event. I'm sure that many of you, like myself, feel very humbled, but at the same time with a lot of energy after we've heard the President of Ukraine speak. I'm a professor of Ukrainian studies, of Ukrainian linguistics in particular, in the Department of Modern Languages and Cultural Studies. So nice to see some of my students here, some familiar faces. And I'm sure that I will meet many of you in September. In the Department of Modern Languages and Cultural Studies, we offer many Ukrainian courses, and actually next year we will have quite a rich choice of those courses, so I hope to see many of you there. I also hope very, very much that next summer we will be able to go to Ukraine for our study abroad program, which we have run successfully since 2000, which unfortunately was halted by the war this year. But now please allow me to introduce also, as Natalia pointed out, one of our newest projects, which we started in winter, early spring, right after the start of the war. 5 units in the Faculty of Arts, where we host the majority of our activities in Ukrainian studies, came together and launched a new initiative, which we call DUSS, Disrupted Ukrainian Scholars and Students Initiative. Our goals are to provide support and secure educational and research well-being of our newly accepted graduate students from Ukraine and visiting disrupted Ukrainian scholars on campus who were placed in a situation of being forced to leave Ukraine, and also those whose work has been disrupted in Ukraine. Thus far, DUSS initiative has reallocated and raised over $600,000, and we are able to support about 32 individuals in various capacities, but primarily by providing opportunities for students and scholars to be able to continue their studies and their research work. In addition, we also serve a larger purpose on campus. We assist with creating connections and networks beyond our faculty, including other faculties and also other educational institutions in Alberta, thereby raising awareness about Ukraine and about Ukrainian studies, which have had a very long history at the University of Alberta. We hope that with our efforts, we will be able to provide shelter, a temporary but stable and comfortable professional home for students and researchers, with hopes that they will take their knowledge to their mother and fatherland, and they will be able to take part in rebuilding Ukraine after Ukrainians win the war. As I mentioned, we were able to mobilize the funds quickly, and we continue to raise additional funds with the support and generosity of a number of Ukrainian community organizations, particularly those whose mandate is to advocate for education. But there is a greater need. We're open to discussions on how best to contribute and support our efforts. Please connect and write to us. You see the email address, which is DUSS@UAlberta.ca. Slava Ukraini!
Thank you so much, Alla and Natalia. Thank you to everyone on this campus-wide and international team who helped make this possible.